journey with others. Let me start with Dan Nadel, who is a guitarist and a composer. His search for his own sound has taken him on a journey across the globe, from Israel to New York, Brazil, and finally Spain. With a style that combines jazz, flamenco, and other influences, he's a busy musician in New York's music scene, both as a band leader and as an accompanist to some of its finest talent. Released in 2005, Dan Nadel's debut album, Brooklyn Prayer, very appropriate, is a rich, introspective recording that explores the subtler cultures of New York's most diverse borough. And it's true, New York, very much like Israel, is a celebration of diversity. Talking about diversity, and here I have to say on a personal note, we have 645 employees in our building. You should know, the State of Israel is employing almost 700 people in our building. But Lianne Aharony is unquestionably the most talented and unique of them. She's the only opera singer that we have in the building. Talking about diversity, she's of Persian background. She was born and raised in Jerusalem, and no, she's not related to me, unfortunately, although we have the very same last name. She was born and raised in Jerusalem. Lianne Aharony is a graduate of the Jerusalem Academy of Music and Dance. Receiving a status of exceptional musician upon being drafted to the Israel Defense Forces, she performed as a vocal soloist across Israel, as well as during visits of the Chief of Staff to the United Kingdom and Poland. Possessing a talent and career unique in their diversity, Lianne's repertoire spans classical and opera, jazz, and many forms of world music. She has sung in concert halls in Japan, Portugal, Russia, Italy, and Turkey, and performed with Israeli Philharmonic and Israeli Symphonic Orchestras. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome the amazing duo, Dan Nadel and Lianne Aharony.
Lianne on vocals. We first wanted to thank you all for coming out, and we wanted to thank Consul Aharony, his family, and the Israeli consulate for hosting us here. The first song we did is called Morenika. Morenika is the little dark one. There's a translation in Hebrew, and in Hebrew it's Shechachoret. And this is a song from the Ladino tradition that mirrors many songs in the Spanish tradition and traditions from Spain of folk music from Spain and from the flamenco traditions of the exotic dark lady. There were several ethnicities that these ladies consisted of. Sometimes it was Jewish ladies, sometimes Arab ladies, and sometimes gitanos, gypsies. And obviously the gypsies are the ones who remained openly in Spain the last few hundred years. So this tradition of singing about the morena was carried on by them. But outside of Spain, this is a song that survived and then in Israel became a very famous song with the Hebrew translation, Shechachoret.
Yeah, and thank you, Dan. The next song from Argentina also made an appearance in Almodovar's movie, Volver. It is about someone who returns after years to his hometown, to a first love after wandering and escaping the past, while the stars and the old street lights are making his way back. la nieve del tiempo, la claro en mi sien, sentir que un soplo la vida, que 20 años no es nada, que me brinda mirada, errante la sombra, te busca y te nombra. Con el alma aferrada a un dulce recuerdo, te lloro otra vez. Tengo miedo del encuentro con el pasado que vuelve a enfrentarse con mi vida. Tengo miedo de la noche impoblada de recuerdo, encadena mi soñar. Pero el viajero que huye, tarde o temprano me tiene su andar. Y aunque lo olvido, que todo lo destruye, ya matado a mi vieja ilusión, junto escondido una esperanza humilde que toda la fortuna de este corazón. Volver con la frente marchita, la nieve del tiempo, la claro en mi sien, sentir que un soplo la vida, que 20 años no es nada, que te brilla mirada, errante la sombra, te busca y te nombra. Vivir con el alma aferrada a un dulce recuerdo, te lloro otra vez. Volver con la frente marchita, la nieve del tiempo, lo claro en mi sien, sentir que un soplo la vida, que 20 años no es nada, que febril la mirada, errante la sombra, te busca y te nombra. Vivir con el alma aferrada a un dulce recuerdo, te lloro otra vez. Volver con la frente marchita, la nieve del tiempo, volver, volver, volver.
We're going to present something interesting for you now. Early 20th century in Spain, there's a very well-known classical composer. His name is Manuel de Falla. And like other classical composers of this period, he was searching for material to feel, that would make him feel like he's writing something original. There's a period when Debussy and Ravel are operating in France, Bartók is operating in Hungary. And so searching for material that is indigenous to the land, he goes to southern Spain, to Andalusia, and starts living among the Gitanos, among the Gypsies. And much of the material that he later wrote, both right there and later when he was living in Paris, was inspired by the folk songs and the flamenco that he heard there. You can hear the rhythms, the melodies, and he did a very creative job in bringing this music to concert halls where it was not accepted like it is today. What we're going to look at today are 4 of a series of 7 songs, a series called Siete Canciones Populares Españolas. And we're going to perform 4 of those songs. One of the other interesting thing is that he wrote these for piano and voice. And the piano was inspired by the sounds he heard of the flamenco guitar. So maybe a dozen years later, guitar became a classic, like a concert instrument, and there was a famous guitarist who wrote a transcription of the piano part. But this piano part that he wrote out still sounded very much like classical piano. It kind of lost a lot of the oomph of the flamenco guitar. So you'll hear us kind of straddling both worlds when we play these songs. Sometimes you'll hear sounds that really resemble the classical music of that time, and sometimes we're going to take it a little more in our direction. The first song is about a piece of cloth that has a black stain. And someone remarking, how come it's so cheap to buy this cloth at the store? Now it's almost worthless, but it's still the same cloth. It only has this stain on it. And of course, it has a lot of other meanings. But this text is also the sort of text that was carried around not only Spain, not only in flamenco, but in Ladino music too. So, interesting to encounter.
Ti vene che non
Now we're going to welcome a very special guest, a good friend of ours on recorders, is Tali Rubinstein. Rubinstein for the Israelis. We're going to play another song from the Ladino tradition. This is called Hitragut. You're going to hear words in Hebrew that actually aren't a translation. They were made popular in Israel to essentially the same melody. And then we're also going to perform the song in Spanish.
Ladino, yes.
In Ladino.
Im yesh So we would like to close the program with this next song written by Shlomo Idov. It was his first song ever. He was only 13 when he wrote it. And he called it Como la Luna. He wrote it in Spanish. You will probably recognize the Hebrew version of it.
The